Here's the 30-second lesson on what legends know. Never practice nunchucks in a crowded room. Never eat chole before a road trip. Always take your shirt off before you iron it. Don't take a call near a swimming pool. And don't forget, saving is not investing. Legends don't just save, they invest in mutual funds. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Priyanka Gandhi, as we know, has decided to contest from Wayanad after her brother Rahul Gandhi vacates the seat. This is irrespective of which side of the argument do you come from or which side of the political divide you are on and where do you sit. Doesn't matter. It is among the most significant developments on the political newscape in the recent days, in the post-election results period. And this will have many implications. This will have implications for the Congress party, for sure, for Gandhi family, for the Congress party, for national politics. A lot of these we'll be discussing in the course of time. Let her go and file her nomination. Let all the formalities happen and let's wait for the result also. Before that, however, her joining the fray actively. She's been in politics since 2019. She's been campaigning. She's been looking after the Gandhi family borough. It's a 3-seat borough, Amethi, Raebareli, Sultanpur, all three of which the BJP has lost this time. So that's quite a bit of success for her. 2 of these seats have been won by her party. That is Amethi and Raebareli by Rahul Gandhi, as we all know, and Sultanpur by the Samajwadi Party, but that's where Menka Gandhi has lost, another member of the family. So all the 3 seats in the old Gandhi family borough have now been lost by the BJP. That's a significant box to check for Priyanka Gandhi on her political CV. That said, as I told you earlier, we will have opportunities to look at her impact as her impact unfolds in times to come. So we leave it for that. However, her arrival on the scene now gives us an opportunity, an excuse, or what we call in our business as a newspeg, to look at women in politics, particularly today in this Lok Sabha. And also let us see how does the balance of power stacks up between the BJP and the opposition, because there are lessons here and important takeaways on how hard Narendra Modi, Prime Minister, has worked on getting more women to vote for him. There's a general impression that more and more women have been voting for the BJP, and it's also been an impression that more women coming out to vote. That is one of the best things to happen in Indian electoral politics, that more and more women are coming out to vote. In fact, if you see this graphic, you will see that over time, the gap between male voters and female voters has been narrowing. Right? That's a very good sign. In some states, in fact, more women come out to vote than men. That said, the impression has been that since Narendra Modi's arrival on the scene, more women go out to vote for the BJP, particularly one because of the pull of his personality, and second, also because he has focused on many welfare schemes targeted as women. He as well as the BJP's chief ministers. So this gives us an opportunity to look at that and see how keen he was for the women's vote, for the need to enhance it, to increase it, and also how seriously did he take his appeal amongst women that almost towards the end of the last parliament's life, he railroaded through parliament an amendment, a critical amendment, ensuring 33% reservation for women in Parliament. Now that wasn't coming into effect right now, that would have come in later. So that bill could have been passed any time between now and 2029, because this will only come into effect after 2029. But he was in a hurry to do it because this was a message to India's women almost on election eve. How has that worked? So first of all, Priyanka Gandhi's arrival tells us that Congress party is the second largest party, second most significant, right now on the ascendant. I know you will say, oh, number 1 party is 240, Congress party only has 99 plus 1 because one more has joined it. So big deal. But the fact is that one has gone from 52 to 100. So almost doubled it, almost gone up in this case, gone up precisely by 48. The other has diminished from 303 to 240. So momentum is on the underdog side. Momentum is not on the leader side, not on the top dog side. That is one fact. Second, Congress party, because you could never take this party lightly. Mr. Modi never took this party lightly. BJP never took the Congress party lightly. In fact, if you see the last election campaign, which just ended, the one party Prime Minister Modi attacked everywhere was the Congress party and Gandhi family and Rahul Gandhi. So the BJP, Narendra Modi do not take the Congress party lightly. It's now evident that the top leadership of that party is two women and one man. It may be mother, daughter and son, but two of them happen to be women. That's a significant point also. The other thing is also to assess how the force levels on the two sides, I'm sorry I'm using sort of military balance terminology, force levels on two sides stack up in Lok Sabha. If you look at Lok Sabha, 74 women MPs in this Lok Sabha. 74 is just about 14%. In fact, 13.5%. It's very, very poor. 74 out of 543 is very poor. Still, if you look at these, NDA has 293 seats, UPA has 237 seats. There are some others also. Those others will account for about 3 or 4 of these women. The rest in terms of numbers is about the same. In fact, at a stretch, the India Alliance and other opposition parties or leaders, for that matter, even Harsimrat Kaur Badal, the Akali Dal Dilon Akali Dal Lok Sabha member, is also in the opposition now. If you add them up, they are more than the NDA's numbers by 1 or 2, but they are more than the NDA's numbers. So, first of all, in sheer numbers, the balance is not in BJP/NDA's favor. That is unusual. That is also counterintuitive, given the attention Prime Minister Modi and his party had given to women and also to women-centric schemes. That is just the numbers. Now let's look at the firepower. The firepower also comes from the weight that these MPs carry, because if there is one thing you can be sure of after this election verdict is the fact that we will now have a spicy parliament. So those times when you could just shout down the opposition, or opposition would see no choice but to walk out, or you could maybe suspend 159, 160 opposition MPs and then pass all your crucial bills by voice vote, as what was done with these 3 new criminal law bills, the new Penal Code, new CRPC and new Evidence Act. Those were passed by voice vote with opposition not there. Those things will not happen because the sheer numbers are now mostly evenly matched. So, India Alliance, 237, a few more, another handful of the opposition, the 2 radicals, for example, from Punjab, 1 radical from Kashmir, Harsimrat Kaur Badal. Many of these others are also of the opposition. So, the 2 sides are evenly matched and they will now be debates. So, we have to see women debaters, and that's where we see the BJP at a disadvantage. The main reason they are at a disadvantage is that the BJP's best women debaters, BJP in fact, right through the tenure of UPA and even before that, BJP's women MPs did brilliantly in Parliament. They made headlines, they got a lot of TV time, and they also landed a lot of very good punches. You want to know the names? Remember, somebody called Sushma Swaraj, unfortunately left too soon. Uma Bharti, who BJP's own politics has sidelined and completely diminished now into insignificance. So those are the people who've disappeared. Again, this election saw the departure of Smriti Irani, who herself had quite a formidable presence in Parliament. So who does the BJP have now? BJP and the NDA, Bansuri Swaraj, yes, chip of the old block. She speaks well, she's a lawyer, she will grow into the role phenomenally fast, faster than most people would imagine. So Bansuri Swaraj, she will grow into the role. Then there are not many others, because a lot of the prominent others, debaters, have either fallen by the wayside, fallen by the wayside as in Uma Bharti, Smriti Irani now defeated. Then there is Shobha Karandlaje from Karnataka. Yes, she speaks quite well. So far has been more a provincial person, a leader. Let us see how much of a presence can she make felt. Purandeshwari is the daughter of N.T. Ramarao, sister-in-law also of Chandrababu Naidu. For some time they were on opposite sides because she had joined the Congress party. She was the Minister of State in Manmohan Singh cabinet looking after HRD, and Manmohan Singh thought the world of her. In fact, he himself had said to me once that she's one of my brightest young ministers. He was really full of admiration for her. She's now a BJP MP. She also heads the BJP in Andhra Pradesh, and the brother-in-law who he fought with earlier, he's now an ally. And she will be present and she can talk well, not a Sangathan person, not somebody who comes from the BJP RSS background, unlike Sushma Swaraj, who came from an RSS family. She will be a presence. Then Sangeeta Singhdeo, who's had multiple terms from Odisha, she will have a presence, but again, as yet, she has not made too much of a mark as a debater in parliament. Now, Purandeshwari, Shobha Karandraje, Bansuri Swaraj, they will be up against a very formidable army of women debaters from the other side. I will count some more from the BJP/NDA side. There is Anupriya Patel, who is an ally, Aparajita Sarangi, former cop, former IPS officer from Odisha on her second term, D.K. Aruna from Mahbubnagar in Telangana, Lovely Anand, the JDU MP from Bihar, is the wife of Anand Kumar, who was the dawn of that region. She knows how to talk. I've had conversations with her traveling during Bihar elections. She's very articulate, and you will see quite a bit of her in parliamentary debates. And you know what? I cannot complete the NDA BJP team list or team sheet without counting the two stars. So there is Kangana Ranaut, the new talent, and I think you can expect her to stand up and speak a lot and make headlines. And there is also, of course, Hema Malini, who's not been speaking that much in parliament, but is always a presence. That said, who will they be up against? That's important. If she wins the election in Wayanad, Priyanka Gandhi will be there. So the two Gandhi siblings will be in Lok Sabha. That will also energize the Congress party. From the Congress party itself, there will be Selja. Selja has won her election from Hisar. She's back in parliament, so she'll be a presence. She's also a Dalit. That also counts in politics. Supriya Sule has won a famous victory after a tough fight in the family borough of Baramati against the cousin's wife or sister-in-law. She's always been a significant presence in the house. Then, of course, there is Kanimuri from DMK, Pranati Shinde, the daughter of Sushil Kumar Shinde, the former Home Minister of India and former Chief Minister of Maharashtra as well. Varsha Gaikwad from Mumbai, again a firebrand Congress MP. Dimple Yadav, right, no less. Then the contingent from TMC. TMC fielded 12 women in this election, of whom 11 won their seats. That's quite a strike rate, because Narendra Modi and the rest of the political system might have been debating the 33% quota for women. In this case, without a quota, almost 33%, 39% of all the MPs who won on TMC ticket are women. Many of them are very formidable debaters, led of course by Mahua Moitra is back, and she's back with a vengeance. So you will see her feature quite a bit in parliament debates. I won't be surprised if she comes in on day one of Lok Sabha carrying maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, any number of fancy bags. She's the kind who will make news all the time, and she'll be on the BJP's case. She'll be on the BJP's case, constantly a thorn on their sides. There is Sayoni Ghosh, Kakoli Ghosh, Dastidar, Rachna Banerjee, Shatabdi Roy. These are all people who can hold their own. So the BJP and NDA will have competition in Lok Sabha, not just from the numbers on the other side, the overall numbers, but they will also have competition from women on the other side. And I would say the BJP would feel themselves a little bit outnumbered and also a little bit outmatched and outgunned as well. Because one thing the BJP hasn't done since the passing away or decline and then passing away of Sushma Swaraj and then the decline of Uma Bharti, one thing the BJP hasn't done is to build women leaders. If Smriti Irani was coming up to be one of them, if she was their choice, she's now suffered a setback because of the election defeat. And Menaka Gandhi, who was an import from the Gandhi family, she's lost her election as well. So BJP is short of powerful women faces. Of course, they have the larger numbers than the opposition. That's why they are the ruling coalition. But in terms of woman power in Lok Sabha, at this point, the opposition scores over them. Now, that said, how has this been working for BJP for votes? Because all of the initiatives that Mr. Modi has taken towards getting the Muslim vote, you would have thought that with all this, BJP would have had a much better strike rate of getting women elected. This time, the BJP fielded 69 women candidates, 30 got elected. That's a strike rate of about 43.4%. In 2019, BJP had fielded 56, 41 got elected. So it was a strike rate of about 73%, right? So the strike rate for BJP's women candidates has come down, but you could also say the strike rate for all of BJP's candidates has come down. That said, please look at this graphic. This is a very interesting graphic because this tells you, this is only about the BJP vote share. This tells you the movement in BJP's vote share among women and men. The upper line is for men, not because we privilege men over women. It's just that those numbers are a little bit higher. Those percentages are always a little bit higher than women. The lower line is for women. Now, this graphic starts with 1996. 1996, Vajpayee's first rise, although he failed to form and sustain a government. BJP's percentage of women's vote was 1998 under Vajpayee. It went up significantly from 19 to 23. 99, it was still thereabouts. 22, Vajpayee also got the same number of seats, 182 in both elections. 2004 remained about the same. 2004, it was 23% again. 2009, it came down to 20%. And then see what happens between 2009 and 2014. That is Narendra Modi's first election. That's when BJP's share of women's vote really shoots up. So it goes up from 20% to 29%. That is quite significant. You can also see that the BJP share of the male vote is also going up accordingly. So it's not as if women are carrying the BJP. But BJP's share of women's vote also went up. History tells us that historically, the opposition, particularly the Congress, had a higher share of the women's vote than the BJP. In this case, the BJP is rising, and that gap between BJP's male and female vote share is narrowing. As it's narrowing, BJP is doing better and better. So 20% in 2009 goes up to 29% in 2014, and then goes up to 36% in 2019. What has happened in 2024? That movement has stopped. 2024, BJP's percentage of women's vote is still only 36%, the same as before. It's the share of men's vote which comes down from 39% to 37%. Not that significant, but comes down a little bit. You might then say that if this has happened, how come all this difference in seats has come up? To understand that, we have to look at some specific states, and I do that with help from data from Lokniti CSDS, and thank you Sanjay Kumar and the team for doing this. I've also sent them some questions. I've asked Sanjay some questions and got those answers and data, and I'm using some of that to explain this to you. Now, if you want to see where BJP has lost seats, so BJP suffered big losses in West Bengal, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, and then some losses over what they had in Rajasthan, Karnataka, and Haryana. This is where the BJP's losses are. Though some of those losses they've made up for partly in Odisha, where they've done very well. They've got a few more seats in Telangana, in fact more than a few more seats in Telangana, and they've got some seats in Andhra which they didn't have earlier because of their partnership with TDP this time. All of that netted off has still resulted in a loss of 63 seats. In fact, if you look at the three biggest seat-bearing states in India, that is Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra. Uttar Pradesh is 80, Maharashtra is 48, West Bengal is 42. That is 80 plus 48, 128 plus 42, 170. In the three states that bear 170 seats, BJP is number 2 to the ruling party. That is what has caused the big difference in this election. And then whatever recovery it might have made elsewhere has not made up for these losses. In these three states, in these three seat-bearing states, three states that bring 170 seats to National Parliament, to Lok Sabha, in Lok Sabha, BJP is number 2 in each one of the three, number 2 to the leading party there. Obviously, the leading opposition party at the national level. So, in UP, it's number 2 to Samajwadi Party, in Maharashtra, number 2 to Congress Party, and in West Bengal, number 2 by some distance to TMC. The seats BJP has lost in these states, it's not been able to make up for elsewhere where it has made some gains. Now, why has it lost these seats? So see, if you look at West Bengal, for example, that's where BJP's big loss has been, also loss in terms of expectations. BJP had 18 seats earlier, exit polls were showing it getting 29, 30, and BJP people themselves at 29, 30. It actually ended up with 12 seats, that is 6 less than earlier. If we look at the gender breakup there, then the BJP obviously knew that one issue in West Bengal is that TMC gets a much larger share of the women's vote. And that's the reason, even if the BJP gets 50% of all Hindu vote, they cannot win power in West Bengal or win a bulk of the West Bengal parliament seats. This time, that is why the BJP, first of all, announced so many schemes, reservation for women in parliament, and also started the whole Sandesh Khali story. And Sandesh Khali story played out big time on quote-unquote friendly TV channels because a mood was to be built. The impact, however, turned out to be, it seems, from this Lokniti CSTS exit poll data. All the data we are quoting for you, starting with 1996, all of this is from Lokniti CSTS. What this data tells us is that the TMC, if anything, has added 11 percentage points to its women's vote. So TMC got 53% of the women's vote in the state, and that is the reason they swept the state. The BJP had 34% earlier. Instead of increasing its vote share, it lost a little bit, 1%, but it did not increase anything. So from 30, when it came to 32, TMC, on the other hand, went up from 42 to 53, and we can see this reflect in results. Look at the states where BJP got a larger share of the women's vote. Chhattisgarh is a state where BJP increased its women's vote to 54%. Congress party was left behind at 45, and that's caused a big difference. Now, one of the reasons this happened was that in Chhattisgarh as well as Madhya Pradesh, that's another state in which the BJP has done well, promises of welfare schemes directed at women, they were made before the assembly elections, and in some cases, delivery was made before parliament election, and that made a difference. In Madhya Pradesh, in any case, BJP was in power, and the BJP was the incumbent, so they were able to distribute the stuff that they promised in Ladli Behna scheme and other schemes. In Chhattisgarh, they had made similar promises, and the delivery of the 1,000 rupees per month had started before Model Code of Conduct came in and Parliament election process started. So that might be a reason that BJP has done well. Women's vote in these states, and these are the states which I would say have gone ahead and rescued the BJP. If you want to see the overall gender vote balance between the two, Congress has got 2% more of women's vote. They've gone from 22%. They've gone from 20% to 22%, whereas the BJP has remained stationary at 36%. At the same time, the Congress allies have gone to 12%. That is up 5% from the past. But remember, when we say Congress allies, we are counting out TMC in West Bengal. We are counting out Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. In fact, Aam Aadmi Party is only included for Haryana, Delhi and Gujarat, and TMC is only included for Uttar Pradesh, and there it doesn't matter very much. Karnataka is a telling story. Now Karnataka, BJP had started with a head start because more than 50% vote overall in the state and more than 50% of the vote in so many seats in the state. So BJP would have thought that they were sitting pretty in Karnataka, but they still lost 9 seats. How did that happen? Now, first of all, BJP did see a vote share increase for men. Very interesting. BJP's vote share from men in Karnataka went up from 40% to 50%. BJP also had an ally in JDS that could be a factor. Also, increasingly, as we keep telling you in Indian elections, the others factor is now disappearing. So everything is becoming a straight hit between two sides. So BJP's share of male vote has gone from 40 to 50%. But what's happened to the women's vote? That for the BJP has remained confined at 41%. 41% women, 50% men. And Congress, on the other hand, has increased its share of women's vote by 11 percentage points. So Congress has gone from 41% to 52%. Overall, Congress gets 45% vote, BJP gets 46% of the vote. BJP still gets more seats, but in the process loses 9 seats in the state. So once again, it's the women's vote that matters. UP is the other critical state, in fact, the most critical state. Again, see, a change has taken place there. Change has taken place because between Congress and SP Plus, that is the alliance, the Congress SP India alliance, they've got 44% of the women's vote. BJP and allies, if anything, have got 1% less of the women vote. And once again, this near parity, if anything, a tiny deficit for women's vote for the BJP might have cost them more seats. And yet again, this reminds us that we form many impressions in our mind. A lot of it from commentary from journalists like us. But when you put it to the test of data, it turns out to be something else.